With all the news about immigration and the Supreme Court in recent days, you may have missed some big political fireworks on Capitol Hill. FBI Director Christopher Wray and Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein appeared before members of the House Judiciary Committee. It was a contentious hearing as Rosenstein defended his actions before hostile Republicans. Now, Republicans claim he was not cooperating with their document requests. Some congressmen accused Rosenstein of intentionally hiding facts in both the Hillary Clinton email and Trump-Russia investigations. Well, we're giving you a look at some of the more compelling moments so you might gain a better understanding of just what's going on here. First, Congressman Jim Jordan. He asked Rosenstein about document redactions and DOJ surveillance of members of Congress. Then we'll hear from Congressman Gowdy and Democrat Jerry Nadler.
I'm the Deputy Attorney General of the United States. Okay? I'm not the person doing the redacting. I'm responsible for responding to your concerns as I have. I have a team with me, sir. It's just a fraction of the team that's doing this work, and whenever you brought issues to my attention, I have taken appropriate steps to remedy them.
It's not personal. We just want the information. Why did you tell Peter Strzok not to answer our questions yesterday?
Mr. Jordan, I appreciate your sincere concerns, but I didn't give Peter Strzok any instructions. If there was some problem with the instructions he had, I'll be happy to look into it.
Not what his left-eye lawyer said.
Mr. Jordan, when you find some problem with a production or with questions, it doesn't mean that I'm personally trying to conceal something from you.
Did you threaten staffers on the House Intelligence Committee? Media reports indicate you did.
Media reports are mistaken.
Sometimes, but this is what they said. Having the nation's #1 law enforcement officer threaten to subpoena your calls and emails is downright chilling. Did you threaten to subpoena their calls and emails?
No, sir, and there's no way to subpoena phone calls.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying. I'm reading what the press said.
I would suggest that you not rely on what the press says, sir.
Well, I didn't ask if there's no way to do it. I asked if you said it.
If I said what?
What I just read you.
No, I did not.
Well, now who are we supposed to believe? Staff members who we've worked with, who've never misled us, or you guys, who we've caught hiding information from us, who tell a witness not to answer our questions? Who are we supposed to believe?
Thank you for making clear it's not personal, Mr. Jordan.
If you have evidence that this president acted inappropriately, present it to the American people. Whatever you got, finish it the hell up.
Today we meet so that the majority can criticize the Deputy Attorney General to his face, largely about his failure to produce documents that you know he cannot produce.
The Justice Department has already turned over 800,000 documents, and now, under threat of contempt of Congress, Rosenstein says the DOJ will turn over more. For Republicans, the issue is the withholding of key communications and DOJ's redacting of critical information. They say Congress received more insights from the Inspector General's report than from the requested documents received from the DOJ. Listen to this exchange between Congressman Ron DeSantis and Rosenstein about text messages between FBI lead investigator Peter Strzok and lawyer Lisa Page.
Mr. Rosenstein, August 8th, 2016, text message in the IG report from Lisa Page to Peter Strzok. Trump's not ever going to become president, right? Right? Peter Strzok responds, no, he's not. We'll stop it. Now, the Justice Department had previously provided text messages from that date. They included all the messages we now have except the "we'll stop it" text message. Why didn't the Justice Department produce that to Congress when we asked?
I want to assure you and the American people, we're not withholding anything embarrassing. The message was not in the original material that Inspector General, he found these messages?
Right, so you guys didn't find it and he did. And so we're asking you to produce stuff, and obviously, we're expecting a good faith effort. You guys didn't find it, and maybe somebody else deleted it or something happened before you guys, but he was able to find it and you didn't. So it was very disappointing to see that text message there, because I think you would agree. Just think of the timeline here. You have Peter Strzok. He opens up the counterintelligence investigation against Trump's campaign at the end of July. Then a week later, this text message, he ain't gonna be president, we'll stop it. Then the next week, the infamous insurance policy text message where he says, we can't take the risk of a Trump presidency, you need an insurance policy. The American people see that. Doesn't that undermine the whole integrity of the actions of people like Peter Strzok?
Yes, Congressman, that obviously is highly inappropriate. And
Well, it's
I'm
more
just
than that,
troubled
though.
by
I
it
mean,
as you are.
it's more than that. I mean, the Inspector General did find that the bias affected. He didn't say it affected the decision about Hillary, but he said once we got into the fall, when you had the Huma Abedin emails, and there was slow walking on that by Peter Strzok, he was really concerned with pursuing this collusion investigation. And he testified on the record that it was absolutely reasonable to say that the bias not only existed, but affected what he did.
And Congressman Louis Gomert wanted to know about FISA warrants. Those are the foreign intelligence surveillance warrants obtained by the FBI so agents could listen in on the phone calls of Trump campaign officials. Now, Gomert wanted to know if the Deputy Attorney General knew the FISA warrants were based on unverified evidence and a politically motivated fake dossier.
When you approve a FISA application, in your mind, does that mean you should read it and understand what's part of it?
You should certainly understand what's part of it, sir.
But
As I
that, you're
said,
parsing words, so that doesn't mean you need to read it, in your opinion. Is that correct?
It depends on the circumstances, sir, and
Well, telling you, being a former felony state judge,
yes.
if I had somebody like you come before me and now it was
not the one that
revealed
comes before the
later
judge, sir.
that the guy that signed and approved an application for a warrant
I don't think
had
you
not
understand the
even
process.
read the application that would allow spying on somebody,
atrocious.
I would look at everything he signed from then on with a jaundiced eye. You said earlier Bruce Orr was not working on the Russia investigation. Let me ask you, here's
to my knowledge.
to your knowledge, did you not know that Bruce Orr was meeting with Christopher Steele, getting the information about the dossier and supplying that information to the FBI at the same time his wife Nellie was working for Fusion GPS that was helping Hillary Clinton? Did you not know he was doing that for the FBI?
Correct.
You did not know that?
Correct. I completely understand your concern. And this FISA process is being reviewed by the Inspector General. If he finds some problem with it, I'll respect that. Now, we don't talk about FISAs. It's illegal for us to talk about FISAs. In this particular example, as a result of the Intelligence Committee, certain information was declassified, and so I'm comfortable talking about that. You have to understand in context, sir, that the department had made the decision to disclose the existence of a FISA to the House and Senate before I got there. Now, what I signed was what's called a renewal application. Already been approved 3 different times by a federal judge. It was signed under oath by an FBI agent who attested that it was true and correct. Now, if he was wrong, we'll hold him accountable.
Americans can expect more contentious hearings before the midterm election this November. Republicans want to use the documents, text messages, and emails they receive to prove the special counsel's Russian investigation has been faulty from the start, that it is politically motivated, based on unverified information and illegally obtained warrants. They also say evidence proves bias against Donald Trump by lead FBI investigator Peter Strzok and perhaps others at the FBI and Department of Justice. So why should you care? Well, most people agree our top law enforcement agencies, the Department of Justice and FBI, must remain objective, neutral when conducting investigations. Politics have no place in these institutions. Their integrity depends on it. That's how we know our justice is just. Remember the words of Sergeant Joe Friday from the 1950s and 60s TV show Dragnet? Just the facts, ma'am. Just the facts.